Well, hello everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man. In today's episode, we're going to the year 2018. This game takes about 30 or so minutes to play. It's 1 to 4 players. And it's from Road to Infamy Games. It is called Crypt. In this game, the king is dead. And we are all siblings of the king, fighting for what we believe is rightfully ours. As soon as all the treasure has been scooped up by all the siblings, you count up all the points. And what takes a good chance to win is good dice placement and card collection. So let's head on over to the gamers table, where we all fight for what is rightfully ours. Crypt. Alright, here we are at the gaming table with the game Crypt. Let's take a look at it. Alright, now in this game you actually use the lids of the box, so I'll go ahead and go over those at the very end here, how those are used as well. But let's go ahead and go over the components of the game, and then I'll show you the setup, and of course how to play. So first of all, you got your instruction booklet, which is right in here. They have all the instructions in here, so everything you need to know is right in there. It's really, really nice, fits right in the box. Pretty darn easy. Then you also have a leader card and a lights out card, which I'll go over in a moment, of course. You also have your player cards. These are both double-sided, so technically you have 8 different players, but you can play up to 4. You just choose one side. You also have your corresponding dice colors that go with the color of the card. You also have the little treasure cards right here, and you also have the collectors. So once you collect these different items that you get from your father's tomb, as I said in the introduction, that the king is dead and he wanted all of his belongings to be buried with him. Well, we're all his sons and daughters, and we say, oh heck no, we want what we deserve. And so we're actually sending our servants, which are the dice, down in the tomb to get these items for us. And that's pretty much what we're doing in this game. And these are the collectors that you would cash in with some of your stuff. Some of these will give you special abilities during the game, and some of these are actually at the very end of the game. These are kind of like end scoring points as well. Each of these cards have an A and a B side. Of course, they always say when you first couple games, you want them all in A, but once you play a few games, you want to make it a little more challenging, you can actually intermix the A's and B's together. You don't have to have them all on one side. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get this party started. We're going to have this box here, which is the bottom part of the box. This is where you'll see in a second how I'm going to lay out the cards, and any cards that aren't kind of bid on, I guess you could say, will go in the box. And then all the exhausted servants will go in here, which in a minute you'll understand what I mean by that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to go ahead and do a 3-player game. Let's go ahead and just get rid of the red since it's right here. Put this aside. And we're going to have a 3-player game. We're going to have the black, the blue, and the purple play. The first player is going to get the leader card, and then the last player will get the lights out card to start off the game. So what happens is black will get a turn, blue will get a turn, and then purple will get a turn. If you have a 2-player game, okay, the first player will get both of these cards, which means the leader would go, the first player would go, the second player would go, and then the first player would go one final time. All right, but since you have a 3 or 4, obviously you have a leader here and lights out. You'll know how those work in just a moment as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So the 3-player game, we're going to go ahead and lay out 3 of these treasure cards, just like so. And then you're going to place one of them face down, just like so, okay? In a 2-player game, you will have, you guessed it, 2 up and 1 face down. If you have a 4-player game, then you are going to have 4 of these face up, and you'll have 2 of these face down. And that is how that works. But we got a 3-player going on here. So we're going to go ahead and do it just like this. Okay. And what's cool on the bottom on these cards, I just recently noticed, is you have the 6 collectors here. We got the remains, which is the bones. Then you have the idol. Then you have the pottery collector with the little potteries, which just looks like this. Okay. Then you have the manuscript collector. We have the tapestry, and then you have the jewelry. And what's really cool on these backs of these cards, I just have to show this because there might be something you could easily not even see. You see, this is a pottery card. See, there's this crypt right there. See all the pieces of pottery that are in there? That's pretty cool. And then you got this one here. This is the jewelry one. You guys little jewels in there with them. So I think that's really cool. It's something you can really easily overlook. I wanted to bring it to your attention. Just like you got the idols. You got these little statues and idols in there. That is really, really cool. I literally just noticed that. Here's the tapestry one. And you see all the little tapestries on the wall and on the floor there. So that's actually really, really cool. But anyway, just wanted to bring that to your attention because I just realized it myself. Okay, so the leader is going to go ahead and start off, and you're kind of bidding in a way. You're going to take your dice and you're going to put the number is kind of like the bid on the card that you're trying to get. So let's just say the black player here, he's the leader. He's going to go ahead and put maybe a 3 here and let's just say he puts a 4 here. And he decides he's going to go ahead and that's all he's going to do for right now. The blue player is the second player. He's going to go ahead and say, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put a 3 here. And you know what? I really want that 4. So I'm going to go ahead and bump this. I'm going to bid higher. So he's going to bump this dice out of there and place a 4 there. And this just simply goes back to the player if that happens. And then the lights out player. The lights out player can only put their dice on one card only. So he can't spread them out like player 1 and 2 did. Let's just say he wants a for sure thing. He's going to go ahead and put a 1 right here. Okay, because he knows he doesn't have to bid any higher. That 1, it's his card. Now, you're probably wondering right now, why don't I just put 6s out there? I mean, duh. I mean, 6s, you can't beat a 6. Why do you got to put 3s and 4s? Well, let me tell you why. This is when the exhausted servants come into play. So right now, that is the end of that round. Okay. And what happens is you're going to look, and each one of these players won these cards. So you're going to get these cards after we're done. But we need to find out first if these servants are exhausted. And how we do that is you're going to look at that die, and it says a 4. So I have to roll the same number or higher in order for this servant to still stay in the game right now. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the die. I just rolled a 5. So he is good to go. This servant is good. The servant goes back into their hand. And then you're going to take this card and you're going to place it upside down in front of you. Okay, just like so. Because you want to be able to see these scrolls here or whatever the suits are. That way you can try to go for some of these. Now, one thing I did not mention to you, and I just realized it, is when you have a 2-player game, you're going to see on the bottom of these cards. Sorry, I skipped right over this. You're going to see some that have these Roman numerals on the bottom, 3 and 4. So in a 2-player game, you're going to go ahead and take out all the 3s and 4s. Obviously, in a 3-player game, you're just going to take out all the 4s. And of course, a 4-player game, you're going to keep them all. But for this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and keep them all in here. But that's just a little FYI there. Sorry about that. Almost forgot about that. Okay, so we got this one here. This has a 4 on it. So let's see what happens. I rolled a 3. That means this die has been exhausted. So you're going to lose it into the box. But you're going to get to keep the card, which is good. So you're going to flip this upside down. You're going to place it in front of you like so. Okay? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the black player. Yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go. You got the blue pair here. You got a 3. So now they have to roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to keep the die in the game. Ooh, it's a 3. So they got to keep it. And this goes face down in front of them. Okay, like so. This purple player, that's an automatic victory because you cannot roll lower than a 1. So that's good. So they get to keep that. And they keep this face down in front of them. All right, that's the end of the first round. So now you see the black player has 2 dice to work with. And we have 3 and 3 here. All right, so now what happens in the next round? Player 2 is now going to have the leader card. And now player 1 is going to have the lights out card. Okay, like so. And then we're going to do this again. We're going to go ahead and roll out 3 here. And we're going to put face down like so. Okay, now this time the leader is going to go ahead and start the bidding. Now, you can put 2 dice on 1 card if you so choose to do so. Let's just say this player put a 3 here. And let's just say they put a 4 over here. Purple says, you know what? Let's see. I really want this card. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dice on there. Now, when you put 2 dice on there, the values must be the same. So if I want to kick this 3 out, I'm going to go ahead and kick this out, and I'm going to put 2 2s. Okay, so they have to be 2 2s. You can't put a 1 and a 4 or 5 and a 6. They must match. And they must beat the number that's on there. So you had a 3 on there. Now I have 4 on there. Now I have 2 purple dice on there. So now we're good there. Lights out. Well, they can only put their dice on 1 card only. Let's just say he's going to go ahead, like I told you last time, he's just going to put a 1 here. That's the best bet you can do. Unless someone spreads out all their dice, which they can. I mean, I could have put 1 here and put 1 there. You know, then it's very possible. And you might not be able to just do that. But if you have a free card and you get a 1, that's the best thing you can do, especially when you're the lights out player. But anyway, okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the leader. All right, actually, that doesn't really matter where you start here. It really doesn't. You just have to re-roll your dice. Now, see, this one here did not have any dice on it. Nobody bet on it. Nobody wanted it. So this would go into this box here in the crypt. So it is out of the game. Okay, we got a 4 here. I'm going to roll. Ooh, it is I don't know what happened. I just kind of rolled it and not sure what happened there. Let's try that again. A 4, we're good. Okay, so this player gets to keep this and puts it face down in front of them. Now we got 2 2s here, so we got to roll both of these and hope none of these are a 1. Let's see what we got here. Double 6s, so we're good there. Now let's say, for instance, I rolled a 6 and I rolled a 1, just to show how this works. Obviously, you keep the 6, but the 1 is gone. It is exhausted. You exhausted that servant. This player gets to keep it and put it face down in front of them. Now, obviously, you want these in different rows. You don't want to stack them different ones here, but due to the lack of room I have down here, we're just going to do this, okay? This is an automatic win because it's a 1. You can't roll lower than 1, so this player goes here, and this player takes this. Now, how do you get your dice back? Let's just say this player and this player only have 1 die. Okay, they might want to be able to get these dice back. There are, well, actually 3 different ways you can do that. First of all, you can just skip your turn. I can say, you know what, I skipped my turn this time. You don't put any die on any of the cards. Let me go ahead and place some new cards out here if I can show you another reason. Okay, I just skipped my turn. I'm not going to put any dice out. I want my servants back. So that's how you can get all your dice back, is by skipping a turn and getting them all back. Now, let's just say, for instance, this player here only had 1 die remaining. And say they put a 3 here. And let's say another player said, oh, I want to outbid you. Okay. If you get your die knocked out and you only have 1 die remaining, you are able to get your dice back. So that's one thing the other players need to keep an eye on. If that's your only die out there and they decide to knock it out of there, well, guess what? Now you get your dice back that have been exhausted. That is another way to do that. A third way to do it is you can use right here. This one here, actually this is the one right here, the remains collector. If you are lucky enough, let's just show that player 1 here has 2 of these remains cards upside down. You can use this power where it says recover 1 die. Now you can't, if you have more than 1 die in there, you know, unfortunately you can't use 2 to get both your dice out. But what you can do is you can, once you use these, you're going to flip them over. Okay, just like so. So now these are going to be face up in front of you. Now the bad thing is everyone else knows what your points are here. But you get to recover 1 of your die. Oh, I took it out of there. You get to recover 1 of your die back into your hand. And of course, if you have 2 more bones, then you can use the 2 more bones to get 1 more die out of there. Or you can just skip your turn and get your dice back. So that's how you can do that. This one here, if you have 1 of these idols, you can re-roll a die. So that's the same thing here. See, this one here, we have this face down. If I tried to use, tried to roll for an exhaustion and I didn't do it, I can flip this over, showing that I used it, because you only use these once. Place it in front of me, face up, and then I can roll a die again. Okay? These are the 2 right here that are during the game. You can use their powers, okay? If you have the certain cards, if you have the right cards to do it, if you have 1 idol or 2 of these remains, you can use that to your advantage by flipping them over. You still get the points. So that doesn't matter. You don't lose the points if you flip them upside, if you flip them right side up. You still get the points for them. Okay, just the thing is, everybody else can see how many points there are. Okay, so they might know, I need to start scoring some more points, and they'll start going some higher cards probably, because most of these are face up. The rest of these are pretty much for the end of the game. For each scroll, if you have for each 2 scrolls, then you have each one worth 4 points each. Okay, whoever has the most tapestries at the end of the game, for most coins, for the most coin worth of scrolls, you get 5 extra points. Score your highest valued diamond or the jewelry, you can double it. So you do it twice. Okay, so say you had a 2 and a 3. So you have 2 of them. You have to have two jewelry in order to do it. The highest of the 2 will be doubled. That's pretty much how that is. Okay, and then you have this one here, the pottery. Obviously, you need to have 2 of the potteries, and that shows you the bonus points and so on. If you have, if you get 2 of them, it's times 2, times 3, and times 4, depending on how many of these potteries you have in your hand. Okay, those are like end scoring here, where these ones actually help you out throughout the game. So that's how you can get your dice back after they've been exhausted. You skip a turn, you use your cards as a bonus here to get at least one of them back, or you can, if your 1 dice is out there and someone accidentally didn't pay attention and booted you off, but that was your only die, you get your dice back from there. Okay? All right, so you're going to go ahead and keep doing that throughout the game until these cards have been exhausted. As soon as these cards have been exhausted, then that triggers the end of the game. You're going to go ahead and count up all of your gold coins here. You're also going to count up all your bonus points that are from up here. And for every unexhausted die that you still have out here, you get 1 point each for those. And whoever has the most points wins. Now, if there is a tie, then what you do is you're going to take all the dice that are not exhausted and you're going to roll them. Each player is going to roll them who are involved in the tie. Whoever rolls the highest number wins the game. Obviously, if you get another tie, you re-roll again. So that could be a big play too. Say this player only has 1 die and these 2 tied. Good luck trying to beat 3 die versus 1. So you always want to try to keep your, especially when you see that stack getting real low down there, you want to try to keep those dice unexhausted just in case you are involved in a tie. And I believe that's it. I believe I've covered everything here. That's the game, and I hope you enjoyed the episode here. Let's head on over to the game room, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on Crypt. This is a really cool little game. It's not heavy by any means. I'm not really too big on real heavy games. It's a really light game, and I think actually it's a pretty good gateway game, if you ask me, because obviously, if someone that doesn't play games, they're going to walk by and go, oh, what's this? You got dice on these little cards, and you're picking up these cards, and you got these collectors out there. I think people probably ask, what is that? And I think that teaching them, it's a very easy game to teach, first of all. So, and second of all, it's a really good beginning game to show you dice placement and card collection, and you're trying to collect all the different collectors' icons and the suits, whatever you want to call them, trying to get them all and trying to collect them. And it's a good game to learn all that. So if you're a player that doesn't play that many games, that don't really do, too many, card collection stuff and dice placement, it's a perfect game for that. And I think it's a great game to teach. It's very, like I said, it's very easy to teach. And it's fun. It's a real quick game. I think they say, 25 to 30 minutes on here. Now, it is interesting that the ages are 14 plus. Okay, I think younger people could probably know that. Maybe because you're pillaging your father's tomb, and maybe that's why they put it at 14 plus. I don't know. But anyway, it's a really nice little light game. And it's one of those things where maybe it's at the end of the weekend on a Sunday, and you're like, I don't really feel like playing a heavy game. What light game can we play just to kind of... And here we go. And Crypt would be one of those games. So... if you can find this game, go for it. I think I bought this for like $6 over at McKay's. I had no idea about it, and luckily I was in an area where I can actually get service, and watched a couple videos like I normally do when I haven't seen a game. I have no idea what it's about, and I liked what I saw, and went ahead and got it. And then I read through the instruction booklet, played it, and it's a lot of fun. It is fun. Like I said, it's a very light game though, very quick, and I highly recommend Crypt. If you can find it, get it. I believe there is a sequel to this, or an expansion. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up. I meant to look it up before I came on here, but I think there's another one out there, so I'm gonna have to look that up and see if I can find it. I love getting sequels and expansions. It's a lot of fun to get, especially when you like the base game, like this one here. I think it'd be worth looking into the second one. So let's go ahead and give this, before we forget, a thumbs up. Here we go. Thumbs up on thumbs up meter. And that's my review of Crypt. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know if you did. Give me a thumbs up. And thank you all for your support as always. And happy gaming.